All right, guys, welcome to the sports podcast for UnOriginal Studios. We don't have a name for it yet, but trust me, we will get one later. I'm joined by Brandon and Bear. And on this episode, we're going to be going through the NFL free agency. It's still in full swing, but all the big moves have happened. We're going to talk about some March Madness. We are in the first day of March Madness, and then at the end, we're going to go through NBA playoffs. So to start off the debate, probably the biggest move of the free agency was the Cleveland Browns acquiring Odell Beckham Jr. from the New York Giants, along with Olivier Vernon for a first round, third round, and Jabril Peppers. So what do you guys think on that?
To be honest, I feel like the Giants kind of just gave him away. Like, I like the first round pick, obviously, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like the Giants, the relationship with them and Odell Beckham Jr. was just damaged, period, from his ankle injury. I feel like he was forced to play through his ankle injury, which ended up being later on in the season happening again for an even worse ankle injury and was out for the season. And I feel like they realized like he was peaked in the situation with Eli and the line that they have and what was going on. Is I think they realized that he was like that's the best that they were going to get from him. So they decided to get something for him. And with them caring about him, I think that's why they let him go to Cleveland. Not only because obviously there's probably other teams he'd rather go to, but his best friend Jarvis Landry's there, and I know the Browns are rebuilding here, but I feel like a first, third, and Jabril Peppers, I feel like that's just kind of like a steal for Cleveland. I feel like they gave Odell Beckham Jr. away.
I did also forget to mention Cleveland's offensive guard Kevin Zeitler was also a part of this deal, so the Giants get two potential starters also with this trade off the bat.
Okay, I really don't think, OBJ is that great. He's a solid receiver, but I don't think he's top 5. So I think actually the Giants won the trade because you got to think about it. They have so many holes. Why not give up a top 10 receiver and fill all those holes, let alone get a first round, a third round?
Do you mean top 5 all time or top 5 in the league today?
League today,
definitely. My thing is, okay, you say they filled holes, but they created just a massive hole at wide receiver. Who's their best receiver now? Golden Tate? They signed Golden Tate, but Golden Tate's older than Odell Beckham. He does not have the talent or the star power of Odell Beckham. Their second option, I believe, is Sterling Shepard.
Yes, Sterling Shepard is their second.
You have an absolute phenomenon in Saquon Barkley at running back, and you're now in a rebuild with a 38-year-old Eli Manning. So I feel like they have done more.
But I don't think they're going to keep Eli. They're going to go after another quarterback like Lockett or a Haskins. Like, they're going to go get someone and have them underneath Eli for maybe a year, max 2. But I really think they're looking at it as Eli's going to be gone very quickly. Like, Ben and Rivers are both going to be gone within the next 4 or 5 years. But I think Eli's going to be out the door either this year coming up or the year after. And they're going to go get a QB with either that first or third round pick. And then they filled their safety position with Peppers. They helped their line with that other lineman from
Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah. And then it's just, to me, I think they actually won the trade. Like, yeah, it's big because now Landry won't get double covered. But I think, in all honesty, it was a better trade for the Giants than it was for the Browns.
I think I disagree because I think Cleveland's offense is complete now. Who
are you going to guard?
You have Nick Chubb. In 8 weeks, you have Kareem Hunt.
And that'll be fresh legs.
You have David Njoku, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., and Baker Mayfield, who is hungry to win.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think that it was big for them, but I don't think just one. They only got Odell. In the trade aspect, the Giants won, but that filled like what they needed as a number 1 receiver. So yeah, their offense is now probably going to be a top 5 offense.
I think in the trade aspect, the Browns win because they're ready. Like their offense is set. Like they're ready to win right now.
But the Giants,
the Giants are pretty much telling everyone, like, hey, we realize we're not going to win, so we're just going to restart. And that's what they're doing. They're rebuilding their entire team. And to weaken the defense, I respect Jabril Peppers. He is a solid defensive back. He did not make or break that defense.
He had one big play last season.
Him being gone is not...
As you a Browns fan, you would know more, but I feel like him and Ward were pretty much your defensive backfield.
Well, Denzel Ward was out most of the tail end of the season with concussion issues. I'm pretty sure he had 2 concussions last season, so his durability is an issue already. That's the thing I'm most worried about with him. I think, as of right now, the Cleveland Browns by far won this trade. Now, this is a trade that we won't be able to truly tell until down the road.
At least mid-season. Because
the Giants essentially got 2 first-round picks in this trade with Jabril Peppers and the first round that they'll be getting this draft, the 17th overall pick. Their third-round pick. The Giants will be able to tell more with how they use those picks, of course, if they draft Eli Manning's successor or not. The Browns are stacked. And we haven't even really talked about their defense, which they also got Olivier Vernon. Opposite Myles Garrett, they have, in my opinion, not just because I'm a Browns fan, one of the most underrated linebacking cores in the NFL.
Oh, no, you definitely have the fastest linebacking core in the NFL.
On top of that, they've added Sheldon Richardson at defensive tackle to cycle in with Larry Ogunjobi, who will be going into his 3rd year as a pro. Mm-hmm. And Demarius Randall, who could be in talks for an extension. The only hole they have now is in their secondary with Jabril Peppers they have to fill, but they have Derek Kindred that can step in, who did throughout the season, and maybe one more corner to complement Denzel Ward. In my opinion, the Browns have immediately shot themselves into playoff contention. I believe they'll win the AFC North.
Well, even without this whole trade,
I thought that even before.
They were going to go easy 9-7, skim in the playoffs. But I think with this, I'm projecting probably 10-6, 11-5, depending on how tough their schedule actually is and how teams line up.
I think if they don't get double-digit wins this season is a failure for the Cleveland Browns.
I'd agree.
All right. I think we should move on.
Yeah, moving on. Antonio Brown, staying in the AFC North. Antonio Brown was traded to the Oakland Raiders for a 3rd and a 5th round pick. And then he restructured his contract for, of course, 3 years, $50 million. Do you guys think it's worth it?
For AB?
Yes. Not for AB, but for the circus that he brings.
Okay, I really think it's blown out of proportion because you got to look at it. You got to think of Ben. Ben's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I've never liked Ben as QB. You can ask my parents.
I like him as a QB. I think he's a heck of a quarterback.
I think every year they won the Super Bowl, they had someone great.
You can say that about Tom Brady.
It's
you
different.
do not
it's
win
very different.
You do not win Super Bowls based off a sole performance. You win it off a team.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. Their Super Bowl against Arizona, that was
a great throw from Big Ben to Santonio Holmes in the corner.
That was the
great catch by Santonio Holmes. Harrison's 98-yard interception return for a touchdown.
So, yeah, one play right before halftime, I remember.
Yeah, that right there pretty much gave them momentum going into halftime, which they sealed out the game.
Possibly. I don't think... I think that the Oakland Raiders saw a chance to get a talented receiver, which was
I still think they're stupid for giving up Amari Cooper, but that's just me.
Very much needed. Yes, they gave up Amari Cooper, which, for me, I'm loving it.
Well, here's what I'm seeing from that. Hold on. They traded Amari Cooper, got a first-round pick from Dallas, got arguably a better receiver than Amari Cooper for a 3rd and a 5th round. In my opinion, they came out on top of that.
Oh, they definitely did, but I still think it's bizarre they gave up Amari Cooper.
I think
if
that
they could have pulled something like this.
They brought in Antonio Brown, a very talented wide receiver, a guy who has proven himself to put in the work and be a consistent top wideout in the NFL year in and year out for low-rounded draft picks, 3rd and 5th round draft pick. They reconstruct him, 3 years, $50 million. Is that a little much? Possibly for the attitude side of him, but for the athletic side of him, no.
I mean, there's an attitude with... You gotta think OBJ had an attitude. A lot of receivers have
it's a different attitude.
I have to disagree with you on the Big Ben comment. I'm not a Steelers fan, okay?
I personally think AB, he's had a good receiver. He had Hines Ward, he had Mike Wallace, now he has AB, and now he has Juju. Like, he's always had a phenomenal receiver.
You could say that about almost any quarterback ever. But let me say this. I've heard...
No, outside of Gronk and Randy Moss, Tom Brady hasn't had anything.
Julian Edelman. Brandon Cooks.
Okay, Brandon Cooks wasn't even in the Super Bowl. They won. He got knocked out not even 2 plays
multiple receivers. Anyways.
Who?
I've heard two players complain about Ben Roethlisberger. That was Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. And I've heard multiple players stand up and say that, yes, he wants to win, but he's a great leader and he's a great player.
Yeah, but then why is he shooting his shots at his receiver? That is the reason why they win
because
games.
his receiver's a head case, and he got tired of it.
So has Ben.
I mean,
you remember a couple years ago he got arrested at a bar because he decided he was some hot stuff.
I understand that. We're talking about on the field. What Big Ben did, that was a distraction during the offseason. You're talking about Le'Veon Bell, who sat out an entire season. And then you're talking about Antonio Brown, who just did not want to play at the end. He wanted to get out. Those were in-season distractions for the Steelers. And Antonio Brown for his introductory press conference for the Oakland Raiders showed up 25 minutes late. That's the kind of player you're getting.
Not only did he show up 25 minutes late, but he said that his goal was to catch Jerry Rice and receive. Not to say, hey, I'm here, I want to win a Super Bowl. His goal was to say, I want this.
Okay, first of all, I'm a Chargers fan. Oakland is trash. They ain't winning.
Beside the point, what he's getting at is Antonio Brown is only in for Antonio Brown. He's not in for the team he's on.
Yeah.
He could not care less about the team he's on. He just wants to do whatever makes Antonio Brown
he's already
Brown
won a
better.
Super Bowl, so he doesn't care.
He does. He clearly does, but he wants to be known as the GREAT, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he's costing his team the chemistry and...
Yeah, I think it's a good pickup for Oakland, but...
I do too.
At the same time, you guys do point out, have good points with the attitude, but to me, attitude's never been that big of an issue. I mean, outside of New England, every team's has some sort of attitude.
All right, sticking with the Steelers, their starting running back also, Le'Veon Bell, leaves the team. He signs with the New York Jets for a 4-year, $52 million deal. What do you think, Brandon?
I think that for the sake of Le'Veon Bell, this is just showing us that he's strictly about his money. He doesn't care what...
The money.
He gave up a lot of money. He
gave up more money going to the Jets than he was going to stay with the Steelers.
Yes, I understand that. But you didn't let me finish. He went to the Jets. What are the Jets going to do? Yes, they've made some moves in the offseason.
They have.
But what are they going to do? They're not going to go to the Super Bowl.
They got a good QB now. Darnold's pretty good.
They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. He did take a 4-year, $52 million contract. I know that this is way less than what the Steelers were going to give him. But once again, he did not want to play with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he signed literally his max contract that was offered to him. He wants his money. He does not care. That's why he sat out a year. Yeah. He would have stayed in. The Steelers had a legitimate chance to make the Super Bowl. They had a legitimate chance to make the Super Bowl. They are a couple plays away from beating the New England Patriots going to a Super Bowl. He sits out. He does not want to play. He does not care. His goal was just like Antonio Brown. They're selfish. They don't want to win a Super Bowl. They want to make money and make themselves look good. Mm-hmm. He goes to the Jets. I respect the Jets. They're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. They're not going to a conference championship.
The Jets only hope.
They're the Jets.
The Jets only hope at a playoff spot is in the wild card. They're not going to beat New England in the division.
No.
Their only hope is a wild card. They got to go the long way.
I don't know.
If you
there's a chance. There's a chance with every team.
There's a chance.
Oakland had a last year was just terrible for Oakland, but the year before that Derek Carr was in MVP candidate, and now the last year he was probably one of the worst QBs you could find in the league.
I would honestly blame that on John Gruden.
Yeah, no, it's
John Gruden came in and
but okay. we should probably stay on Bell and not get off on other people. But sorry, that was me.
You're good. All right. Landon Collins, a safety from the Giants, signed with the Washington Redskins for unprecedented money for a safety with a 6-year, $84 million contract.
I know nothing about this.
It's disgusting how much money was thrown at a safety for the Redskins. They're in a division where they have two teams make the playoffs consistently, in the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're fighting with the New York Giants not to be the basement dwellers, and they're throwing excess amounts of cap space at a safety.
This was the Redskins' least concern, I feel like, heading into the offseason.
And I agree.
I don't know their
who is running their offense? Case Keenum will be running their offense this year.
Yes. Who's their
wow.
Who is their running back?
Something.
Adrian Peterson is their running back.
Okay, AP is still a stud. I don't care what anyone says. That man is.
Oh, he's a stud. But what are you going to do when that man needs to come off the field? When he needs his breaks? Who's
their backup?
Number one, who's Case Keenum going to throw the football to?
Colt McCoy is their backup because Alex
Not
Smith
their
is
QB. I'm talking about the running back. Who's their backup running back?
Who's Case Keenum going to throw this football to? Exactly.
Don't they still have Deshaun Jackson?
No.
the Redskins.
Yeah.
He played in Tampa Bay last year, and this offseason got traded back to the Eagles.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't even know he moved from the
Anyways,
Redskins.
the Redskins are literally the definition of just a straight dumpster fire.
Oh, they're bad.
They struggle every year, and they make terrible moves.
I mean, they gave up Kirk Cousins, and he was their best shot as a QB.
And if you think that they have wide receivers, they don't. Jamison Crowder, their best wide receiver, signed with the New York Jets this offseason. Their best receiver on their team right now is Josh Doxson.
They have no one.
I don't even know
And this move is not even a rebuilding move. Why? 6 years, $84 million for a average safety. I'd say maybe he is a.
The New York Giants.
I'd say maybe he's a 10th to 15th best safety in the NFL.
I say he's top 10
in that rank.
I don't know
Like,
anything about him.
I am not taking away from Landon Collins' talent. I think he's definitely one of the better safeties in the league. But no safety is worth $84 million.
There's what's his name? Honey Badger.
He's getting. We'll get to him later. He's getting paid more than quarterbacks in the league.
That's insane.
That's what
I'll
I'm
give
saying.
you that.
Washington
80
Redskins.
million is way too much. I could see 50, 60.
The Washington Redskins are putting their offense.
Deal, so
they're
it's
putting
$10
the
million
trust
a
of their offense in Adrian Peterson, and from this deal, they're putting the trust of their defense in Landon Collins. Who
is he going to be their play caller?
This is the same team who released DJ Swearinger for calling out the coaching staff.
They still got Josh Norman, don't they?
Yeah,
and they also released Zach Brown.
But they released
Zach Brown's a stud.
They released DJ Swearinger for calling out the defensive coordinators for not calling aggressive enough of a defensive playbook in certain games. I'm pretty sure it was Tennessee Titans. He called them out.
I don't know anything about the Redskins.
He said, I want to win. He said, these plays aren't going to let us win. So they cut him. That's a stud. That's a great defensive back who is hungry to be dominant in the NFL.
In my opinion, this is the Washington Redskins saying they don't care about this year.
In my opinion, this is the Washington Redskins saying, hey, Dallas Cowboys, you got 2 easy wins this year. Good luck.
Yep.
There you go, B. Free wins.
All right. Nick Foles, the Super Bowl MVP from 2 years ago, quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars for 4 years, $88 million, and that can be worth up to $102 million.
That's if he doesn't get hurt, right?
I don't necessarily know the incentive, so I won't speak about it and be wrong, but what do you guys think of the deal? I think they also released Blake Bortles after this move, who has signed with the LA Rams to be Jared Goff's backup.
You know, I actually kind of like the move.
I love the move.
I think it's a little too much money.
I don't.
Because, I mean, the guy hasn't actually started in a regular season game. Yeah, he's played huge.
He started
but I feel like they should have traded for the Eagles. They should let go Wentz. I think Wentz is not.
I disagree.
Great.
They had 2 great quarterbacks on the team, but they drafted Wentz for a reason. They can't. If you draft someone with the number 2 overall pick and they've played like Wentz, you cannot abandon him. What's happened to him is unfortunate, and they were blessed to have a backup quarterback like Nick Foles. But they're all in on Wentz, and they were right to let Nick Foles go to try to go somewhere else, and he's going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are, in my opinion, a playoff team.
They just stunk it up last year.
They just had a speed bump last year.
Yeah,
and I think Nick Foles will help that team tremendously.
Oh, I definitely think because their offense now will have a steady.
Yeah, if this move happens 2 seasons ago, Jacksonville beats New England in New England and goes to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You really think that?
Yes.
I know this. Blake Bortles was beating the New England Patriots in New England for a late fourth quarter comeback for the Patriots to win and go to the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a steady quarterback such as Nick Foles, such as anyone besides Blake Bortles, who I'm sorry has not proven himself at all in the NFL. Yes, he had a strong postseason, but what was the real reason the Jaguars made it so far in the postseason?
I don't.
The Jaguars made it very far in that postseason because of their defense, which is still the reason.
Their defense and their running game
is still the reason that they are who they are now. If you have any quarterback besides Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is not the man, and he proved it. That's why they got rid of him.
In Jacksonville's division, the AFC South, you have to have good quarterbacks. In their division, they have Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, and Marcus Mariota when he's healthy. They had Blake Bortles, and it showed this past season.
Oh, it definitely showed. Like I agree with you. Like they made a giant leap in the QB spot. Now they actually have a guy who's like one. I think he's about Kirk Cousins level. I don't think he's a top 10 QB.
I think he's better than Kirk Cousins.
I don't know.
Have you seen Kirk Cousins' primetime
stats? Yeah, I know his primetime stats are bad, but you got to think about it. Kirk Cousins has been solid, and I don't know a full season with Nick Foles at QB. We haven't seen that in 3 years.
Nick Foles has won Super Bowl MVP. Kirk Cousins can't even win the Monday night game against the Bears.
Yeah, but he won MVP on an Eagles defense that blew up.
I understand
in the playoffs.
I understand that, but he has won a Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins struggles in any spotlight game. Kirk Cousins is very overrated, and he's certainly not worth the money.
Like equal talent level. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is good as Nick Foles, but I'm saying talent wise, like they're about the same. Mm-hmm. I think IQ wise, and Nick is better than.
I disagree. All right, real quick, C.J. Mosley, linebacker from the Ravens, he signed with the New York Jets also for a 5-year, $85 million deal. Once again, I think it's just killed the Ravens. The Jets have cap room to spare, so I mean, this really wasn't much to them. But in my opinion, linebackers set the market this year on what they should be paid, and C.J. Mosley was part of that. So this is probably going to be a norm you'll see from linebackers, but I just don't think linebackers, especially someone like C.J. Mosley, should be paid $85 million.
I have to disagree. I think C.J. Mosley he's a field general. That was the leader. I mean, obviously they had many leaders on that Ravens defense. This guy is a ball player. I've watched him from his college days at the University of South Carolina. I've watched him into the National Football League, and he is a solid, dominant quarterback. Linebacker. He's a solid, dominant linebacker, and I really think that even though he's with the Jets, they're not going to a Super Bowl. I already said that, but I think that he is. I think maybe the Jets are trying to build something. I think maybe within 5 to 10 years they might be something, and I think that maybe he is that starting point.
He's a cornerstone.
Him and Le'Veon will be the cornerstone. They will be the starting point. They have Sam Darnold. They have a couple young wideouts. They have a couple studs on defense. Their defense was not bad last year, and they did do decent. They're not going to make a Super Bowl. They're not going to go far into the playoff. They'll make a playoff run. They're not going to go far. I don't think they'll go far at all. I think that maybe they're 6th, 7th, 8th best team in the AFC if they play their cards right. But I don't think that they're anything more than that. But I do love the move for him, and I'm glad that he's getting paid because I feel like he is a player who does deserve it.
See, I think because of him and Eric Weddle, I think those two bouncing off each other, Eric Weddle being the veteran he is, and then Mosley just being a ridiculous talent, that they were the cornerstone to that Ravens defense. So I think the Jets filled that linebacking core. Like they got now a guy who has been underneath a very smart safety in Weddle, who is now gone. I don't know where he went exactly. I think he went to the Rams.
He did.
Okay, so I was right. He went to the Rams, but I just have the weird feeling that the Jets are going to just show up and nobody's going to see it coming. Like there's certain teams this year I just think are going to blow out teams that you just won't.
I think they will definitely be a trap team on team schedules where they will surprise teams and get wins that honestly no one thinks they should, but they will surprise and get wins, I think. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No. I do not think so.
I think they steal one. They steal one against New England.
The AFC is stacked.
Who's in their division? The Patriots, the Bills, the Dolphins.
Okay, the Bills are bad. The Dolphins are bad.
The Bills are
I think they could steal one.
The Bills are building. The Dolphins have been pretty solid the past couple years.
They're a 500 team.
They're a 500 team that is 1-2 steps away from being this team.
The Jets could easily go, I don't know, 4-2, and then only lose to New England. Maybe 5-1, because I think they could maybe sneak one out against New England. Because, I mean, Tom Brady's going to fall off at some point. I don't know when, but he's got to fall off at somehow.
The Patriots are winning the division. There goes their quick in. They have to beat out the whole AFC at that point to get a wild card spot. They have to have better records, and the AFC is stacked with teams that are they've either been
Well, I mean, it's going to be the Chiefs and Chargers. One of those are going to be a wild card. So there's only one left. I think it's going to be the Jets. Houston's winning theirs.
Don't sleep on Indianapolis.
I think the Browns, the Colts.
There's too many teams.
There's a lot of teams, but I think the Jets have a shot.
I do not think the Jets. I think the Jets will be.
I'm not saying they will, but I think they have a shot.
They will be on the bubble until the end of the season, but I do not think they will get into the playoffs. Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, signed with the Kansas City Chiefs for a 3-year, $42 million deal.
I hate this.
They then cut Eric Berry.
I love this. This is a more athletic, this is a more aggressive safety than Eric Berry. This is a guy.
I agree with Brandon.
This is a guy. Don't get me wrong. Eric Berry has the talent. Okay, he does have the talent, but he's also been through a lot. He's also old. He also has miles on him. Yes, he had highlight moments last year. Not every single game.
I mean, he only played 4 games.
Not every single game.
In the regular season.
Well, that's
He's definitely a guy who has talent. Tyrann Mathieu is a guy who wants to win and has proven himself on every team he's been on in the NFL.
I think he's only played for the Cardinals.
Cardinals and Texans.
He played for the Texans?
Yes, and
last season.
This is a team who is once again just one step away. This is a beautiful move for both sides of this organization.
This is a productivity over talent, in my opinion. Eric Berry was putting together a Hall of Fame career before he was sadly stricken with cancer and injuries got him, and he was off the field more than he was on it. Tyrann Mathieu will be on the field.
Sorry.
Tyrann Mathieu offers more to the football team than Eric Berry.
I don't know. You got to think. I'm a Chargers fan, so I've seen Eric Berry play all the time, and it drives me nuts how good this guy is.
Yeah, wait till you see this guy play.
Yeah, he'll kill you.
Like, you got to think. When he came in against the Chargers, when the Chargers ended up winning, he ended up not playing that second half, and the Chargers made a comeback to win. I'm telling you, if he was on that defense would have not blown that lead. I'm saying that's a crazy release. I would have released him. I would have just kept him, but
his contract was hurting him. They freed up a lot of room.
There's a part of me that hurts because I just love watching, like,
I understand,
even though he was a Chief, I loved watching him play.
But it's a better move for the team going forward.
Going forward, yes. Just, I don't know if the Honey Badger is going to show up.
No, he'll show up.
He'll show up.
There's no question.
The last notable name is Teddy Bridgewater. Some people think he can be a starter, and some people want him to be a starter, but he decided to re-sign with the New Orleans Saints for a year and $12.5 million to remain behind Drew Brees. Do you think this is a good move on Teddy?
Oh, I love the move on Teddy. You can go, B.
Yeah, I think this is a good move on the fact that, I love Teddy Bridgewater and I love his heart. And it did hurt me to see him, take that ACL injury when he was with Minnesota. And then, but to see how far he's battled back to be in this point in his career, I love the move because if you're going to be a backup, let's be honest, Teddy Bridgewater is a backup quarterback. He's an average starter.
Since the injury, yeah.
He can be a starter, but he's not going to be anything more. I mean, would I take him over Case Keenum? Yes. But this guy's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl. This is not going to lead you to a playoff run. I'm sorry, he's just not. I love the move because if you're going to be a backup quarterback somewhere, why not be a backup quarterback with the New Orleans Saints? Ride your time behind Drew Brees, who I think is arguably one of the best quarterbacks ever in the history of the National Football League. So you're going to have that kind of wisdom. You're going to have Sean Payton, a great masterminded head coach, to teach you along with Drew Brees. And you're going to make $12.5 million in 1 year. 365 days. You're getting paid $12.5 million. That is just... This is a beautiful move for Teddy Bridgewater.
I think he's he's stealing money. In all honesty, he just signed to sit the bench for a year. Drew Brees doesn't get hurt. He just got almost $13 million for sitting the bench. Man, I wish I could get $13 million for sitting the bench. Be great. Why? I mean, yeah, most people are competitive. I hate not playing, but at the same time.
Well, the talk was he signed with the Dolphins, and I was going to pick him to start, and they eventually traded Ryan Tannehill to the Titans, and they eventually ended up signing Ryan Fitzpatrick. But I think he could have easily been the leader of the Miami Dolphins if he wanted to. He chose to go back to New Orleans.
I like the move, though. I like it.
Okay. Real quick, we're just going to run through the teams we think were the most improved and the teams that got hurt the most in free agency. I got three teams that I think have improved the most. The Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, and the Oakland Raiders. All of those, we've talked about their big acquisitions. We know, and it looks like they are... The Raiders, I would say, are the least poised for a playoff run out of those three. But I feel like...
They got a hard division.
We will see during the season if they've taken an actual good step in the right direction. They have the talent on paper, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think the new... I think that the Cleveland Browns definitely had a great offseason. I think that... the New York Jets, yes, had a great offseason, but I don't know if they had one of the best offseasons. I think the Philadelphia Eagles had a phenomenal offseason.
Yep.
They cut some players they need to get rid of. They signed some players. They traded for some dominant players. It hurts me to see how good they did this offseason, but I think it was really good. And I have to say, they made one big move, but it makes a difference in the world. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars this offseason made their team. I think that they put their work in again. I think they're back in the AFC Championship game, and then depending on how that game goes, depending on how they play out their season, they might have a Super Bowl run this year. I think that the Jaguars made a great move with getting rid of Blake Bortles, bringing in Nick Foles, and
they signed their franchise.
Building off of that.
I don't really have a most improved and most hurt. I mean, I think the Steelers are probably the most hurting team.
I also have them as one of my most hurt teams.
I don't know. I can't, outside of the Jets, maybe the Browns have the best free agency. Every other team, I think, was just mediocre. From what I've seen, not many teams. They filled a couple holes, but then they opened up more. So it's 50-50 with me.
The Detroit Lions are another team I think really improved. We haven't talked about them really, but they made a lot of not big splash signings, but they made a lot of good quality signings, in my opinion. They might have overspent, but I think that's what they have to do.
Well, they got rid of Golden Tate, and that was a huge...
I mean, that was last season, this offseason alone. I mean, they overpaid on a couple people, but they got good quality players.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't think that the Steelers are a hurt team. They lost Antonio Brown.
I think they are going to be better off with them gone. But
they proved that they don't need Le'Veon Bell. James Conner can do it. He does. They don't need Le'Veon Bell.
See, I don't know if James Conner can. I've watched the guy play. There's times where he kind of just...
Didn't he go
to
the Pro
Bowl? I watched him last year put up better numbers than Le'Veon Bell.
Didn't he go to the Pro Bowl?
He did go to the Pro Bowl. He did. No, he definitely
I don't
did.
think that
he's good. But
I don't think that Antonio Brown is a big... Yes, it's a big... that's a big receiver. Mm-hmm. But... You have Juju Smith-Schuster. You have, Jesse James.
Numbers.
You have Jesse James and a good tight end.
Jesse James went away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He signed with the Detroit Lions, I believe.
Either way, they have Juju Smith-Schuster. They're gonna get a player in the draft, or they'll sign someone. But as much as I don't like the guy, Ben Roethlisberger can throw a football. He can lead a team. I think they will be just fine. I think
did you see that pick he threw to Derwin?
I think they will.
Ball floated 50 years in the air.
Awesome. I think that they will not. I think they will look exactly the same they did last year. They're not going to make a Super Bowl, but they're going to be right there, deep in the playoffs. with a hit or miss game.
Didn't even make playoffs.
They didn't make it this year, but
the year before
they stunk it up.
For most hurt, I have the Steelers, but you do raise good points. I feel like from a team standpoint, they'll be better, but from a talent standpoint, there will definitely be that missing piece for a couple games at least. I feel like it'll take a while to get a chemistry going with just not relying on Antonio Brown. The Ravens I have as the most hurt. Their defense was gutted this offseason. They've lost Eric Weddle, C.J. Mosley.
Well, they
lost their defensive end. They've lost a couple more pieces. They were gutted.
They signed Mark Ingram. I think it's a great sign. I think their offense is going to be even more dominant than last year. They also did sign Earl Thomas, which for this year and next year, that's a good sign. But 3 years from now...
So who's their safety now?
Earl Thomas. And Tony Jefferson.
So
Tony Jefferson.
3 years from now, Earl Thomas is going to be too old and too injured to do anything. So this is a great sign for the next couple of years. 3 to 4 years from now, get rid of the guy. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, for the pre-draft top 10 in the NFL, I have the Patriots, the New Orleans Saints, the LA Rams, Chicago Bears, Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, the Indianapolis Colts, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and then I have the Browns squeaking into the final spot in the top 10. What do you guys think on that? Got any changes or...
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good list. I think the Saints definitely should be above the Rams right there. They definitely got cheated, in their playoff game, and I think that they're just an overall
better team.
They have a better. I don't want to say they have a better coach. Sean McVay's a very talented coach, very masterminded coach. But if I had to be honest, I definitely would not have the Bears so high. I think that if I had to pick a top 10 right now, I would not have any different teams. I would just reorder your teams that you have. I think the Patriots, yes, are right now proven and still to be the top team in the NFL. Saints, Rams, great. Chiefs, yes. Then I'd put the Bears, Chargers, Cowboys, Colts, Eagles, Browns. I think that that's how that top 10 would go. Same teams, just a couple flip-flops.
The reason I have the Bears up there is they killed it during the regular season, and they were only one missed field goal away from going on in the playoffs. Their kicker... Even though I'll admit
released him.
Yeah, but they didn't show up in the playoffs. I'll admit that kicker scored most of their points, and it just so happened that he was also the choke point. And it sucks for them, but I think they do have a great team.
See, I really would put the Bears probably 8th. I don't think they're that great because their offense is terrible. I mean, their defense is what held them in any game. Their offense just was okay enough.
I wouldn't call them terrible, but I agree their defense.
Well,
is
they were like
the
Ravens. They had a great defense, and their offense was just okay. So they just had to do enough to win the game. So I don't really think they're gonna be a top 5. I'd put them around 6 or 7.
Honestly, there's points I think I would have to agree with you. I think I would drop the Bears. I think I would drop the Bears and the Colts behind Dallas. I would
drop the Chiefs.
I would leave them above the Eagles and the Browns for now. But I would not drop the Chiefs. I think Tyrann Mathieu is going to prove they have a great offensive. They still have a great offense.
They don't have corners or linebackers.
They still have a great defense. They still have a great offense.
The Chiefs don't have a defense.
Tyreek Hill, they might be without.
They got a front 4.
And their front 4 was able to put them how far into the playoffs?
Didn't they lose?
D Ford was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, that's the only part of their front 4.
One guy.
And they've released Justin
He averaged
Houston.
16.5 sacks.
If they didn't think
16.5 sacks is replaceable?
Yes.
What?
Replaceable. Guarantee does not have a year anywhere close to that this year. 12 sacks at most.
It's still
12 sacks at most.
That's still a lot of sacks, bro.
Go watch who they played. Go look at who they played and who was blocking him. And then tell me if any...
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers' line is terrible, and Denver's line's terrible. Oakland's line is definitely terrible.
I would leave the Chiefs up there.
But
I would drop the Bears. I would drop the Colts.
The reason I dropped the Chiefs is because they lost Kareem Hunt, of course. He went to the Cleveland Browns. Tyreek Hill, who is under investigation for the NFL for child abuse, basically. That could be a season, if not a ban from the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
So...
I don't even know what happened, there's been multiple.
Pat Mahomes is going to be Pat Mahomes, but he lost his.
He's lost his
target.
two outside of
Travis Kelce.
Kelce. He doesn't have anything to throw at.
He's got.
Sammy Watkins, but he's injured a lot. That's why I'd move the Chargers up, I'd move the Cowboys up, and I'm definitely moving the Colts up a lot higher than what people are gonna say, because I think Andrew Luck's gonna.
I think Andrew Luck will be on a mission.
I think he's done getting pushed behind all these other QBs, and I really think the Colts are gonna make a move to the top 5 team. I think the Rams are gonna kind of fall out. I don't think the Rams. I think they were just star-powered last year. I don't think they were really that good.
They've made some moves. I think that
they've made solid moves. They haven't made a big splash.
See, they got a lot. They got
as good this
a
year
lot
as they were
of
last year.
ABs on their team. If you want to talk about attitudes, they got.
But they also
Peters. They got Sanu.
He has not resigned.
Sanu hasn't.
But I mean, Sanu last played for the Atlanta Falcons. Also,
he played. No, he didn't. He played for the Rams last year. He was there.
Yeah, last year he did play for the Rams.
Okay.
Obviously, he did play for the Rams. But, yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying Mohamed Sanu, the wide receiver. That's my bad.
No.
Yes, they have attitudes, but they also showed last year that they all want to win and they're on a mission, and that they all will follow behind Sean McVay's lead. So I have no worries at all about.
I believe in McVay. I give you that. I do believe in that man. I think he's a.
They played as a team last year. They did not play as individuals. They played as a team, and I expect them to only build off of that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The only reason I have the Browns at 10 is not because I'm a Browns fan. They're the only.
No, I definitely think the Browns.
They're the only team on this list that did not make the playoffs last year, and I believe they will make the playoffs this year. I believe they'll
10-6.
I believe
10-6 wild card.
I believe they will barely miss a first round bye in the AFC. I believe they'll be right on the
bubble.
bubble.
That is stretching it. I'm sorry. That is stretching
That's
it.
my.
You got the Chiefs. You have the Chargers, who are going to battle for those 2 spots.
The Patriots,
their division, who are. Both went 12-4.
Whatever team wins,
Patriots, Houston.
Whatever team wins the AFC East will get a first round bye. The Patriots, Jets, whatever. They're guaranteed to send one usually. It's going to come down to the AFC North or the AFC West, in my opinion.
You really think the Browns are going to have a better record than the Chargers?
Yep.
I also
the
agree.
Chiefs,
no. Chargers, yes. I think the Chargers had a great season last year, and I think that they are going to have another good season this year. What did they finish last year? 12-4?
12-4.
I see a 9-7, 10-6 year. 11-5 maybe.
I love it. I want you to hate on us more, because we're just going to shit all over your day once we get.
Okay, we're not hating on you. We're just speaking on what we think.
What you think? We got the Raiders, who are... What do they got?
All right, so you got 2 wins. I didn't say that they weren't going to.
The Browns have the Bengals if we're going off.
I said that they were going to be between a 9-7 and 11-5 football team.
They're going to be more towards 11-5.
And if they are,
that's
they are.
me being
I can't guarantee the
stubborn person because they're my team.
The Browns look like a Super Bowl contender on paper, but I mean, I'm a realist, and on the field, I don't know if that's going to translate.
The Chargers filled in their one hole that I absolutely hated.
Okay, I understand that.
And linebacker, so that's their biggest weakness. And
this isn't a debate between the Browns and Chargers. I'm just saying I think the Browns will.
I'm not saying. I'm saying the Browns are definitely going to be. They're going to win their division.
And I think
so be a
I think they have the potential to have a first round bye.
I don't know.
I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan. I think they have the talent.
The Chiefs and the Patriots. That's the battle. I think the Chargers are going to have to take that 5th seed, 6th seed. I know that.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
we definitely have to move on with our.
All right, March Madness for the NCAA kicked off today as we are filming, and of course, even if you don't follow the NCAA, you fill out a bracket, you go crazy for it. People make bets. So, I have my Final Four as Michigan State, Gonzaga, North Carolina, and Tennessee. It's probably not the most popular pick, of course.
You know, I love Tennessee. Brandon absolutely hates them.
Yep.
They're not a Final Four.
Get that gaudy orange out of
They are talented, but they're not a Final Four. I don't even know what my Final Four is. I gotta look that up.
All right, so Final Four wise, okay, we got for me, I have Duke, I have Gonzaga, I have North Carolina, and I have Villanova. I will.
Villanova, really?
I have Villanova. Okay, if you go let's just take a look. Let's take a look real quick.
Villanova almost lost today.
That's
today.
Fine. That's today. Let's just I just want to look at this bracket for Villanova. Okay, let me get it pulled up here.
They got to go through Virginia, I believe. Don't they?
No. Yes, they do. Villanova.
Yeah, Villanova.
Okay, so Villanova, yes, they have to go through Virginia. They'll have to go through Tennessee. They do have a tough portion of the bracket, but they also have experience. They are a team that every year in March Madness
they do really
proves
well.
themselves.
That's
So
true.
one thing I looked at when I was looking through my bracket, Virginia. Has Virginia proved themselves?
They lost to the 16 seed
to
last
the
year.
no. They have not proven themselves. I don't think that they should be a 1 seed this year.
No.
I do not like Tennessee. I hate Tennessee with passion. I'd put Tennessee at the 1 seed here. I would not put Virginia. Maybe a 3 seed, maybe a 4 seed at worst. 3 or 4 seed, not a 1, not a 2. Virginia did not prove themselves this year. They did not prove themselves last year. They don't have. I don't think they have what it takes to make it that far. Tennessee, yes, they had a great season. I don't think that, they have the talent, they have the passion. They played Kentucky. Like, they played Kentucky. Like, that was their big game of the year. Kentucky's always been a solid basketball team, but Kentucky's not, like, no one's talking about Kentucky this year. No one was talking about Kentucky last
Duke,
year.
UNC, Michigan State.
I'm not saying like that. I understand, like, the big-name schools. I'm saying, like, this is a school who, yes, is usually good at basketball. Yes, they're good at basketball this year. Kentucky's not a team. They're not a contender. They lost to Kentucky. This is what happens. That was their big game. Like, that was Tennessee's big game of the year. They had I'm not saying they had an easy schedule, because basketball I don't think there is an easy schedule in basketball. Anyone can win any day. It's easy.
Anyone.
It's not. I'm gonna say it's easy, but you'll see an upset in basketball before you will any other sport. I don't think Tennessee's that team. Villanova. I'm giving Villanova the shot here because
they're your Cinderella team.
Cinderella, sure, but they know what they're doing.
Seed, so
I think that they
got
were
a great coach.
I think that they were bid a little low. I wouldn't have bid them at a 6. I would have put them at a 4 or 5.
I agree.
Maybe a 3 if you're pushing it. I think they were bid a little low. Yes, they struggled today.
I think that's going to be better for them being low.
They did struggle a little bit today, but let's be honest. Like, who doesn't struggle a little bit in March Madness? Like, there are so many teams you'll see so many teams win a game by a buzzer beater, move on to the next round, and win by like 20, win by 15.
That's very
so
true.
I think that I'm giving my edge to Villanova to make the Final Four. I'm not saying they're not going to go further. I have them losing to North Carolina, a very fundamentally sound basketball team with a great coach who has the experience here as well. And then that's all the farther I have them going. But that's my reasoning for Villanova over Tennessee, over Virginia.
All right, so mine probably sounds like I don't know basketball, but it's the sport I know most. But I have Virginia, I have UNC, I have Michigan State, and I have Duke. The reason why I picked those 4...
In the Final Four?
Yeah, those are my Final 4.
That's impossible. Michigan State would have to beat Duke.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, excuse me, Michigan.
There we go.
My fault. I didn't mean to say Michigan.
No, you're good.
It's same state. I hate both teams. I'm a Ohio State fan.
That's racist.
What? What? No.
Moving
on. But anyways, the reason why I picked those, because one, Duke is probably the most gifted team. I think UNC is the most well-coached team. I always have a soft spot for Virginia. Don't know why.
I wouldn't after last year.
I know, but every year I do something crazy. I always have a
thing
where I want Virginia to actually do something.
I reluctantly put them in the Elite Eight. So
then I have Michigan, and even though I hate Michigan with a burning passion, I just think if you haven't seen the game today, they're just stupidly good. Like, it's just insane how good they are. Like, those are probably definitely the 4 best teams. I like Tennessee, even though B, of course, doesn't like them. I just think talent-wise, they're phenomenal.
That's what I think.
But I just don't think they're a top 4 team. I don't think they're going to squeak past.
Talent-wise, yes, they have talent. they've never been in this position before.
You're right.
They don't know what to do.
They've usually been a 5 seed.
Most of these kids don't know anything.
Exactly. They don't
you
know
gotta
what
think
to do.
Zion's gonna make it. Duke's gonna hit it. They got a coach that knows what they're doing. They're mostly freshmen.
They do not exactly. You know, I
don't know if that argument actually works in this type of tournament.
I give them the respect for the basketball team that they are, but they're not. They don't know what's going on. They haven't been here. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying I don't see it happening.
You're right. I don't see them. I say Sweet 16 max for them.
So let's build off of this though. So we have our Final Four. Who do we have winning?
Before we go on, I feel like the reason I have Michigan State beating Duke is I think Duke is the all-around better team, but I feel Duke will start to buy into their hype, and I think they will start. You didn't have Gonzaga in the Final Four?
No.
Oh my God.
I have Michigan over them.
But I think Michigan State can pull off a surprise win and upset the.
I definitely think.
I would say that the media has already crowned Duke the champion.
Oh, they definitely have.
So I feel Michigan State, who's a good team, will be fueled if they make it that far.
Michigan State's like one of those teams that you just can't sleep on.
So
that's like Gonzaga. That's
Michigan
Villanova.
State is
but they got creamed today.
Michigan State's a great basketball team. They're a great basketball team year in and year out. They are very team oriented. Everyone on the team, all the fans, they care about each other deeply. Mm-hmm. I picked Duke because not just to beat Michigan State, but to win it all. Because of 2 reasons, 3 reasons, I guess. Number 1, Coach K is a
legend,
great basketball coach. One of the greatest. Look, there's NBA players respect him as a coach. They want him as the Olympic team USA basketball coach because he's that good of a coach for their basketball. Number 2, they have the talent. Yes, it's young talent, just like Tennessee, but the difference I see there is Coach K. Coach K's a difference in young talent. That's Number true. 3 is if you're looking at it from one standpoint, we don't get to see a playoff LeBron in the NBA, but we're going to see a playoff LeBron in Zion Williamson. And he's proved it. So he proved it.
Oh, don't give me that.
Okay, so you don't think that he... Okay, so what did he do?
Zion's overrated.
What did
Please
he do?
Stop.
Overrated?
Yes.
What did the man do in the ACC tournament? First came back 31-11. What? No?
I just want to state, they barely beat UNC.
It doesn't matter.
One.
We just
beat them by 1.
A
Zion
great basketball
had
team.
a dominant performance according to everybody. They beat them by 1, and they should have lost.
31-11 is not a dominant performance.
That's dominant.
31 points.
No,
11
I'm
yards,
not
that's
saying
dominant.
he's not a...
He's a game changer.
He's Sean Kemp. That's who he is. He's Sean Kemp. He's the better version of Sean Kemp. I don't know if you know who that is.
I know who it is.
David does. I don't know if you... Okay.
He
But I think he's just the Sean Kemp. I don't think he's really that good. I think he's going to be a bust in the NBA. He's going to be a Norris Noel. I've watched the guy play. He has no jumper. I've watched him. He doesn't have a jumper. He's like a Ben Simmons. It really bothers me.
So you're concerned that a post player doesn't have a jumper?
I'd be mad if Shaq had a jumper. I'd be terrified if Shaq had a jumper. But Shaq is remembered for being in the paint.
But that's before now. Everybody's got to shoot from outside nowadays.
Clearly
you
not.
Be able to space the floor. Giannis does it, and everybody was saying Giannis couldn't shoot outside.
Barely.
He can make threes now.
I love Giannis. Great player.
Joel Embiid
barely can shoot.
Destroyed the Celtics last night.
Also,
everyone has different play styles. Having just a post presence doesn't negate you from being an all-star. Zion is just more dominant in there, so of course he's going to attack.
I'm not just talking about offense. I mean, defensively, the guy's amazing.
Yeah, no, he's very... To me, I don't think
that guy
I think we've hyped him up too much.
Has turned on. If you watch the ACC tournament, go back and watch his play in that tournament versus regular season was good play. ACC tournament was great play. And I think that now he's on this stage and he's hungry and he's proven and he's told everyone that has told him, hey, sit out. You're proven for the NBA. Wait for the NBA. Sit out your season.
He shouldn't sit out.
I'm
happy he did.
He has told us that he is bought into this team because he committed to here. He has one mission, and that is to win with this team.
Yeah.
And he's going to do that with the players he has around him. They can win without him. They're going to win with him. And I am very much convinced that this team...
He's not the best player on his team, though.
I didn't say he was. But there's a difference in being the best player and being the difference maker. There's
he's a
huge
difference maker.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not...
I did not
I'm
say
not
he was...
trying to take his credit, his talent away from him. I'm saying he's just... I feel like everybody's overhyped him to the point where he's like the next coming.
Well,
I'm not.
He's the next LeBron James.
Well, I'm not over. I didn't say that at all. I said that he's the difference maker in this tournament. He's going to be the reason Duke does so well in this tournament. He's going to be the reason they go so far in the tournament. Him and Coach K are going to be the reasons that they do this.
If he wasn't on the team, they'd still make it to the Final Four. They'd still make it to the championship. I don't know if he's actually...
Exactly. So if he wasn't on the team, they would still make it. But because he's on the team, they're going to win.
So you're saying he's pretty much KD with the Warriors?
I did not say that.
Because that's what I'm.
You're putting words into his mouth.
No, but I'm saying like that's what everybody says. KD is the insurance.
That's not what
policy.
he's saying.
No,
I know, but you're saying like he's the insurance policy of why they're gonna win the championship is because of Zion.
No, I give you 3 reasons why they were going to win. Coach K, their talent as a team, period, and him as a difference maker in a basketball game.
That's literally saying his talent is the reason why they're going to win.
Do you know what a difference maker means?
Yes. You're bringing... First of all, in order to make a difference, you got to have talent in basketball.
Are you saying Zion doesn't have talent?
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that's what you're bringing up is the fact that he has talent.
Of course he has talent.
You got to be... I know that. But I'm saying, like... There's plenty of teams who are just as good. And I don't think Zion is actually... going to be the reason why
there's
they win.
plenty of teams that are just as good.
It's going to be an RG Barrett who freaking makes the final game.
Okay, hold on.
Not him.
I agree. In my opinion, RJ Barrett's the better player on Duke, all around player. I think they're both stunning players, but I think Zion is an absolute athletic freak. That is the difference maker.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say from what you just said made me think
hater.
of one specific situation. Okay, one very specific situation. You said RJ Barrett will be the man to make the 3, to make the game-winning basket.
The LeBron or Kyrie, the final.
No, that's not at all what I was going to say.
That's not
nope,
it?
that's not what I was going to say.
I figured that would.
Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq. Okay.
Kobe.
That's a good.
Kobe's a Finals
reference,
MVP. Do they win the Finals if they don't have that dominant presence of Shaquille O'Neal?
No, because they.
No. So does Duke make it this far, or even have the chance to win if they don't have that dominant presence?
Yes.
It's the same. I'm saying like that's what I see here. I see they have an RJ Barrett.
So you're combining. You're saying those two are equal to Shaq and Kobe.
No, I gave you an analogy because you were trying to I don't know what you were trying to even say there. I don't know if you're like twisting words or just thinking different of what I was saying. I was saying that this young man is a dominant force in basketball, and when he's on the floor. Like, you know, like Zion Williamson's on the floor, I'm not talking about the NBA. You brought that up. I'm not saying, hey, this guy's going to come in and decrown LeBron as the player of the NBA. This guy, I'm talking about right now in the NCAA. Who's gonna stop him from scoring right now in the NCAA? There's no one to stop him from scoring. So who can score over him? I have yet to see anyone be able. Like, yes, people have scored on him. I'm not saying he can't, but when he is zoned in, focused in, like one-on-one, your mind, he's blocking shots, super ridiculous shots, where he's literally launched himself from the paint outside and getting block shots. He's stealing the ball.
He's a freak of nature.
He's a freak of nature. Yes,
he's definitely a freak.
You know when he's on the floor, and you know that because of him and his team, Duke is gonna do something. They're either going to win it all, or they're going to have one heck of a show in the championship game.
I don't think they're winning it all. David, I don't know who you have winning, but I have UNC beating Duke.
I have Gonzaga beating North Carolina. I think Gonzaga at that point will be the most all-around team. It's going to be a heck of a finals because I think North Carolina and Gonzaga are, in my opinion, the two most well-rounded complete teams.
Oh, yeah. I have full faith in North Carolina as a basketball team. And it would not surprise me if North Carolina does win it all. That's why I had them in the championship
Because in my bracket,
game.
Gonzaga meets Michigan State. Gonzaga, I think, can easily beat Michigan State. If Duke beats Michigan State, the Gonzaga Duke game will be a heck of a game that leads into the finals.
The only thing I take into consideration here is, North Carolina's a great basketball team. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. They beat Duke twice. They lost to Duke once in a great basketball game because both teams are great. These are 2 great basketball teams.
Oh, they're phenomenal teams.
I picked Duke over North Carolina championship game because it is very hard to beat a team 3 times.
Yep.
After you've played 3 times, it's very hard to do something the 4th time that they have not seen.
They've only played twice.
They played 3 times.
3 times in the ACC tournament.
ACC championship game.
So they beat them both times? UNC,
both regular season games.
I didn't think they played twice.
Duke won
both regular season games and ACC championship game, Duke won.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. It's hard to do something a 4th time that they haven't already
seen. And the
seen.
big thing is UNC beat Duke both times without Zion.
Yes.
Zion got hurt in the first game and he was out the second game.
Yeah, but they won by 1 with Zion.
It's still a win. It's still a
you can win by 100 or you can win by 1.
It's still a win.
It's still a win. Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying,
And I think that being the influential player he is in Zion Williamson,
we'll give him the edge.
Playing in that game, being in the atmosphere, that's a big game by itself. It doesn't need national championship around it. It doesn't need ACC championship around it. Just being in that game is a difference maker. So, since he got to play in that game, in the ACC championship game, he's gonna know what to prepare. Coach K can tell you, hey, they're gonna do this. Before you're in that moment, you can know, but you don't feel it. You don't know what's about to happen.
See, the only issue I have with Duke is the fact they're very young. I mean, there's, what are they, 4 starters that are freshmen? Or is it 3?
You got Zion, you got R.J. Barrett, you got Cam Reddish, and I think there is one more freshman on the team.
I thought there was 4. But you got to look at UNC. They got, I'm pretty sure, 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore as their starting 5. It's just, I believe in age. Age is more wise. They're going to be much... They lost, in the AC... It was the championship game, or was it the semifinals they lost in?
The ACC? It was a championship.
Yeah, it was the championship. I just think they'll be better prepared because of their more maturity. I think Zion will have a good game. I think Barrett will have a good game. But I just think UNC is just going to top them.
All right.
But that's just me.
Well, we'll see. It's going to pretty much do it for everything here. Thanks for listening. This is our first time doing it. We're really excited about doing it. We're really passionate about this. So just give us support. Let us know how we did. Any criticism is good criticism. So thanks for listening.